Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning, Vladimir.
Hello, Vladimir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vladimir.
Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. All right, we are in the hymn of Savitar, 135. We are going through the hymns to Surya Savitri, to the supramental Godhead, and why and how it is related to our manifestation. And this is very interesting because later we will not find this connection anymore. Supermind will disappear, sun will become a malefic as a planet, malefic in a sense that it is too hot, eating too much soma, robbing us of soma. Interesting, in the Brahmanic period it starts. So Surya becomes malefic planet. Those should be totally benefic, yes? It is because of the sun we all live. It is that energy which creates everything, life on earth. And still, it is so. Because the necessity of supermind disappears with time. And because of that, we have a very different treatment. Now we will look into it, how it is engaged in manifestation. Yeah? Now let me see. I will have to remove a few things here. Let it be this black. Let me project and we'll start with mantra. Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam Aviravirma edi Vedasyama ani stha Shrutam me ma prahasihi Anena dhitena Horatran samdadhami Ritam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu mam Avatu Vaktaram Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's interesting, new thought came, why one has to be protected, the one who speaks the truth, because the claim to speak the truth is very high. And every influence from the lower levels of energies distorting it and claiming it creates the havoc. You know? It is directing the whole development in the wrong direction. So in that sense, it has to be always straightened up. And the one who comes to these hymns has to be protected. Well, let us start and see what we did. We did 5 different verses. I will read them through. Vayami agnim prathamam suastaye Havayami mitra varuna ihavase Havayami ratrim jagato niveshanim Havayami devam savitaram untaye Akrishnena rajasa vartamano Niveshayan amritam martiyam cha Hiranyayena savita rathena Adevo yati bhuvanani pashyan Yati devav pravata, yatyudvata, yati shubhrabhyam, yajato haribhyam. Adevo yati savita parava topa vishva durita badhamana. Abhivritam krishanaich vishvarupam hiranyashamyam yajato brihantam asthadaratham savita chitrabhanuh krishna rajansi tavishim dadhanah. Vi janan shyavach shitipado akyan ratham hiranya progam vahantach shashvad vishach savituh daiviyasya upasthe vishva bhuvanani tasthu. Now what I did, I reconstructed Udatta properly, the morphological accent. This is how the language sounded in that time. Very different from what we know it today. If you ask any Brahmin to read it, will be very different from what I read. When I read in this, in reconstructing Udatta, proper accent with meter, which is very difficult because meter and Udatta do not go together. I read this to the Gurukula from Delhi. The whole group came to Pondicherry with the teacher who teaches Rig Veda by heart, his students in him. And I read to him and he was in tears. I can't forget this. He was in tears. He said, this is the way how we have to read. Because we recognize the meanings then. The meanings stand out. Yeah? They are emphasized in a particular manner. You don't need to translate in your head. You hear the meaning of the sentence. It's quite interesting. Anyhow. So here we stopped at number 5 and we are moving into number 6. Let me recapture first very fast before we come to number 6 and so on. I call to Agni first for well-being. I call to Mitra and Varuna, to the divine consciousness and being, here for the support. I call to Ratri, who introduces all into this world. I call to God Savitar here for the growth. And he returns by this dark space to himself and introducing the mortal and immortal into the world. Or let us say, making the mortal and immortal settle here. With his golden chariot, Savitar, God, comes to us, overviewing all the becomings and all the worlds. He moves forward and he moves upward. He moves in his luminous horses, with his 2 luminous horses, worthy of sacrifice. He, the God, comes to us, Savitar, from the beyond and removing all the stumblings on the way. His Vishvarupa, his Ratha, which is Vishvarupa, is covered with pearls and shining gemstones, has the golden front and is vast as the universe. He is standing upon these, God Savitar, upon this chariot, he whose light is full of consciousness, establishing here firmly the dark spaces, or giving power to the dark spaces, or even something else, establishing or bearing power and might towards the dark spaces, or even against the dark spaces, bearing his might of light. His horses with darker top and lighter bottom overview the whole world. Yeah, Vijanan Syavach, overview all those who are born here in the body, carrying the chariot which has the golden front, Hiranya Progam Vahanta. And I'm translating from the text. Maybe I should read what I translated here. It would be easier, otherwise on the spot. Shashvat Vishach Savituch Dai Vyasya, and all of the divine Vishach. Let me read from here. For all who have entered this manifestation, Vishach, are forever held in the lap of the divine Savitar, together with all the worlds or becomings. So these horses, these swiftnesses by which he comes, which has the darker top and the lighter bottom, mixing the upper and the lower hemisphere here, and that most probably the symbol of them mixture, because they are connecting both into one, are overviewing all the beings born here, because all of them are actually forever in the lap of God Savitar. Here we stopped, and now we are moving into another big topic, which is different from before. Tisro Dyavach Savitu Dva Upastha Eka Yamasya Bhuvane Virashat Anim Naratyam Amritadhitasthuh Iha Bravitu Yautat Chiketat. There are three heavens of Savitar. Two are in the lap, and one is in the realm of Yama, the home of heroes. As on the pole of the car, all the parts are fixed, similarly all the things which are immortal rest on him. Here, the one who perceives it should speak. Iha bravitu, may the one speak here, the one Yah, utat chiketat, who has the consciousness of it. He should speak here about it. Savitar has three heavens, two of which are close to him, the higher and the illumined mind. There are three heavens in the Veda. When the word heavens is used, and especially three heavens, it always means three mental realms. Well, it's a typical terminology of the Veda. When there are especially three heavens are used. When there are two heavens are used, it could be heaven and earth. It could be mental and physical being. It's the same as we say Pitarao, parents, two fathers. It's not two fathers, it's father and mother. Or we say two mothers. We don't mean two mothers, we mean father and mother. So this duality, when there are two heavens, it could be heaven and earth. It could be two luminous rhodaces, yes, who are supporting the whole manifestation. But when there are three, and there are three heavens here, it means three mental planes, and that is physical mind, vital mind, and mental mind, which are proper mind, higher mind, and illumined mind, in ascension. illumined mind is our Sahasrara, the highest. The higher mind is our Ajna chakra, the third eye. And the mind which is expressing physically all thoughts is our Vishuddha chakra, or the physical mind. Yeah? So we have these three chakras or three minds within ourselves inbuilt, yes? So two of which are proper in the lap of Savitar, that means Ajna chakra and Sahasrara, whereas the lower mind is in the realm of Yama. This is Vishuddha chakra, or the mind which expresses thoughts in the physical world. It is the world of Yama, world of heroes who dared to take a body here in a physical realm and express higher mental thoughts. And they translate it as the home of heroes, though it is very dubious, you see, translation, Virashah. Probably Vira, it's all probably, nobody knows really. And this Virashat met only in this hymn, in this verse, once in the whole literature. So we do not know what it means, yeah, really. Subduing or confining or harboring man. Well, Sach, it is from Sach most probably, Sat, because to cerebral, bearing viras, bearing heroes. But Virashat is short E, which could be totally differently read. Yes, I didn't look into it more, but one should look into it more and think what else it could mean. But nevertheless, it is in the bhuvana of Yama. Yamasya bhuvane, yeah, locative bhuvane of Yama. So there are three heavens, two in the lap of Savitar, and one is in the world of Yama, in the world of the embodied state. And suddenly this strange thing is spoken, Anim Naratyam, as the Ani. Ani, we met this word in our always a mantra. Vang me manasi pratishtita mano me vachi pratishtitam avira virmaedi Vedasyama Ani Stha. This is Ani is the word, which means the X, or that central part of the, what do you call it, of the Ratha, of the chariot, which is holding all the parts. Yes, it holds the wheels, it holds the whole body of the chariot, and holds also the horses in front. So this is the most central part on which everything is put together, assembled, around which the whole chariot is assembled. So here it is said that this Ani of Ratha, Rathiam, as if Na is a comparative particle, as if the central part of the chariot, Amritadhitastuh, upon him all the immortal beings are held. Similarly, all the things which are immortal rest on him. As the chariot, all the parts of the chariot rest on this central part, yes? On him means on Savitar. So this physical mind, which is expressing thoughts, would not be possible for him to express anything, because all the immortal things are resting upon these two heavens of the higher and illumined mind. You remember I was showing you long ago maybe not so long, this particular slide from my slideshow. This one, yeah, this is the whole Veda in one slide, basically. And here we have this triple Tisrodhyavah, three heavens. We find this correspondence not in one or two or three hymns, it's throughout the Veda. Everywhere there will be this reference to these three heavens, three Rajansi, Tisrobhumich, and three Rochanas. Yes? So these are categories of the Veda. The three heavens, the three luminous realms of the vital, and three earths. And beyond them, there are three Rochanas, three luminous realms, which are actually defining, very interestingly, Antariksha. And because this is Antariksha between the supermind and this triple world, 3 times 3, and also somewhat these three Rochanas are in between, not only there, but they go in between three Nirajamsi to the vital, which is that crack, that what we call Antariksha, this crack between the worlds, which introduces everything from the beyond. We will look into it again. I will stop here this and come back to my text. There will be more here of this. Let us read and think of it. Visuparna antarikshani akhyat gabhira vepa asurach sunithach Kva idanim suriyach kashchiketa katamam dyam rashmira tatana. So beautiful. The one with perfect two wings, like Suparna. Suparna is actually perfect bird, yeah? Of the higher and lower hemisphere, oversees and enlightens all the inner spaces between heaven and earth. Antarikshani akhyat, vi-akhyat, literally reveals or sees them in all the details, quivering deeply with the ecstasy. Gabhira vepach. Vepach is trembling deeply. Sri Aurobindo translates vipra from here, weep to tremble, as the ecstatic priest, trembling deeply with the ecstasy of his supreme bliss. He is the mighty Lord. Asurach is a mighty Lord, from root as, to be, the perfect guy, Sunithach. Where is now Surya? Qua idanim Suryach? Who can perceive? Kashchiketa. Where, to what heaven his ray has extended? Katamam Dhyam, to what many heavens, let us say, his Rashmi, his ray, Asya, his Atatana, has extended upon. This is the, has to be revelatory questions, because they are suggesting to us something about the nature of the sun and Surya. Surya is mentioned here. Where is Surya now? If Savitar is here acting in these triple heaven and overviewing all the antarikshas, where is the supermind body? Where is the self of the supermind? Who knows? To what far heaven his ray has extended? This is something. These are rhetoric sentences, questions which are meant to show the wonder of the Rishi about the manifestation of the Supreme. Where would the ray go or extend toward new or another heaven manifesting the divine. Who knows it here? Who can clearly see it here? In other words, who can declare here the end of possibilities of the divine manifestation? Who can say how far he has extended his ray? Interestingly, this antarikshani mentioned here, several antarikshas. It's not here, it's here. Visuparnach antarikshani akhyat. He overviews all the antarikshas. Why antarikshani are mentioned in the plural is there is also an explanation to it. And I want to give you some overview, maybe also from one of my slides. Let me project this and you will understand what it may mean. When heaven and earth got split, this is antariksha. Heaven and earth were equal and one, and then they got split. And so the Surya is the essence of heaven, Agni is the essence of earth, and Vayu is the essence of antariksha, that crack in between the worlds, through which all the superconscious and unconscious can flow into. And here in this world, this is our world, between mental and physical, everything is being manifested. This is the level of sacrifice. Sacrifice is taking place in the level of antariksha. Vayu pavamana is yajna, says Aitareya Brahmana. So here it is. So we have Rudra supporting from below, Vishnu from above, Brihaspati from within. And here they act upon our world through Indra leaping down with his lightning, Agni rising in calling Indra, and once they join, that means Vishnu and Rudra are joined together with the help of Brihaspati only. So these three divine manifestations, Vishnu, Brihaspati and Rudra, or later will be Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and they join. But notice there is Svar beyond, and there is Vijnana beyond, and there is Transcendental Sachitananda beyond. And notice here, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 antarikshas. Antariksha 1, between heaven and earth. Antariksha 2, between Svar and Vijnana in this world. Antariksha 3, which is Vijnana itself, between this manifestation and the transcendental Sachitananda. So there are triple antariksha, as it were. This is amazing, just to think about. Why antarikshani? Antarikshani not in dual, in triple. That means 3 antarikshas at least. They go in. And that's actually the whole puzzle about our life here, prana. This prana or life is actually triple in its own depth. It has a depth to Svar, to Vijnana. So those worlds are there within the life force. That's why in the Brahmanas later they will say that Brahman itself, himself, let us say he, but though it is itself, himself manifested as prana in this world with the help of Manas and Bhak, heaven and earth. So heaven and earth holding this manifestation and allowing spirit to come in. This is how spirit comes in. And it has a depth. I'm coming back to the text. That's why antarikshani, viakhyat, he sees in all the details. He oversees them and manifests them. Interesting word, kya. Kya is to see, the verb, but vikya is to see in detail and manifest. So both can be there. Both are ideas, vyakyat. This is a Vedic language. You see V suffix is standing separately from the verb, and two words in between. It's typical for the Veda. Ashtau vyakyat, again vyakyat overviews. Ashtau vyakyat kakubha v prithivях, tridhanua yojana sapta sindhu. Hiranyakshah Savita Deva Agat Dadhat Ratna Dashushe Varyani. The 8 peaks of the earth he has illumined with his look. Illumined with his look, he saw them and manifested them, because when he illumined them with his look, they came into being. And the 3 regions of the desert and the 7 rivers, shining with his golden eyes, the god Savitar should come and establish the treasures most desirable for the giver of sacrifice. All right. I'm sure there will be many questions here. Too many numbers, yeah? Numbers are always mental questions. Right. So you most probably already knowing symbolism of the Veda, you can guess what he wants to say. Yeah. What are these Prithivi? Prithivi is literally vast, from Prithu, extended. It's our earth. Earth means mental, this physical manifestation. It doesn't mean our globe. It means the material universe, vast and extended material universe. So Ashtau Vyakyat, he overviews or illumines the 8 of the vastness in physical manifestation. What are these 8? 8 peaks. Kakubhav Prithvivyah. There are many ways of answering this. I may leave it. These could be the 8 directions. Usually these are 4 disha, 4 major directions, and 4 antardisha, and they are always 8. They are covering the whole vastness of space. Tridhanua yojana sapta sindhu. He also illumined 3 dhanva, these. Dhanvan is the dry soil or the deserts, wasteland, 3 wastelands. What are these wastelands? We can only guess. They have to be cultivated. The triple wastelands have to be made alive and charged with the spirit. They are not. They are dried up. There is no life there, real life. In Sapta Sindhu and 7 streams of consciousness, 7 rivers, they are known very well to us. These are the 7 currents of consciousness which are making everything alive. So he saw everything. He saw the whole universe, overviewed all the regions on which we have to make our cultivation of these soils. And he overviewed also the 7 streams of consciousness. Hiranyakshah Savita Deva Agat. Savitar, God, came to us with golden eyes. When they speak about eyes and gold, usually it is that seeing means manifesting. You know, the sun is the eye of the gods. It is by this eye of the gods that everything is brought into this manifestation. Dadhadratnani dashu shivariyani. Establishing here the most desirable ratnas for the one who gives himself. Hiranyapanih savita vicharshanih ubhedyava prithvi antariyate apamivam badhati veti suryam abhikrishnena rajasadhyam renoti. Interesting. Savitar with golden arms, active, enters the space in between heaven and earth. He removes all obstacles and compels the sun to appear. And by or through the dark space he moves towards heaven. Now here heaven is in singular. It's not this triple heaven, it's not dual heaven. When heaven is in singular, Sri Aurobindo says about this, it means the spiritual manifestation, that heaven which is always beyond. Yeah? The key function of Savitar is stated here. Abhikrishnena rajasadhyam renoti. He approaches or moves towards heaven by the dark space, or he moves, spreads heaven by the dark space. Also possible reading. He distributes heaven through the dark space. It is this characteristic which makes Savitar the god of the sacrifice, Yajatah. For it is through and by the darkness that he arrives at heavenly light. Here in the darkness. Therefore, it was mentioned in the previous verse that there are 3 heavens of Savitar, of which one is the mortal heaven, and the 2 are properly his, high and illumined mind, in Sri Aurobindo's terminology. And these 2 are still the extensions of consciousness of night. It is these 2 heavens of Savitar which actually make the connection with the supreme light from above of the intuitive and of mental levels. Thus he links the high and low hemisphere over these 2 regions of the night, spreading them, as it were. Abhikrishnena rajasadhyam renoti. He approaches and moves towards heaven by the dark space. There's something interesting and difficult to explain if you look into the schemes. We are always looking at them up and low and in between. But truly speaking, the mind is kind of deeper, in the deeper consciousness, whereas the surface is more on the surface. So there is a depth. We cannot show this globally, and because of that we have to locate mind above, that is below the physical, and it is not really true to the experience. This you have to keep in mind. These are only schemes of things. And the last verse, I think, oh no, the last, maybe may stop here because we don't need to rush through. Yeah, it's already 40 minutes. It's kind of intense.
Vladimir, I had a question.
Yes.
So I noticed that throughout from the first to this hymn, this pair of words, Krishnena Rajasa, has been repeated many times, I think 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
What can that mean? Krishnena, by darkness.
By
Rajasa.
dark, rajas. Rajas means space.
Okay.
By dark space, literally. Rajasa is also Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Yeah? Maruta, Rajasa,
Okay.
Tabhyambis.
Okay. By dark space. Okay. Got it.
This is I'm saying to our students of Sanskrit, Tabhyambis. That's yes, by the dark space he comes to heaven, renoti, he returns, he actually, or he manifests also very beautifully, or generates the presence of the heaven, dhyam, or light, by the dark space, with the dark space. Abhi renoti, abhi. No, abhi belongs to the previous. No, abhi is to this, correct. Around, he all throughout, he manifests the luminous light of heaven by the dark space. So the dark space somehow needed for manifestation of light. Yeah? Without the night, the light cannot be manifested. There's no way that the light could manifest if the darkness would not be there. It's really a multiple solution thing. Whatever translation you can find possible to the grammar, all of them have their truth. I never saw any text of this kind. It's not that you can go wrong in interpretation. There will be a true part of it. It's something like the mind is widened, and because the mind is already operating differently, not by, opposition and duality, but looks for the complementarity of the movement, that the text works. I never could truly understand it, because understanding in the lower sense of the mind, how it functions in this way, but it makes it real, because reality is not flat or black and white. Reality is global. And there are many views on the same event from different points of view. But can you say in such a way that whatever view you take, it will have its place? Can you use the language, grammar, which is very precise, in a manner which will give you several translations, and all of them will be valuable, valid? This is the gift of the Rishi, the same in Savitri. You may interpret it, the same passage, even in the opposite meanings, opposite in the black and white mind, in the rational mind, but both of them would have a complementary meaning for this event. I don't want to bewilder your mind, but is it really clear what I want to say? Once I remember with my father, I was reading Life Divine, and I translated to him the passage, and he said, "Oh, but it means just the opposite." And I looked, yes, I said, this is also that. And these opposite meanings were one. In my mind, they were totally one, because there is another poise of the mind which sees them as complementary. But if you come to the normal mind, they look like opposites. For example, this simple thing which I was translating as two translations, he returns to heaven by the dark space, or he manifests the light of heaven by the dark space. And these are two complementary movements of the same truth. And grammar captures it beautifully. I know it is a little bit like... But those who know Sanskrit, they will see it and appreciate it. All right, if you have something to share, some thoughts, some questions. You see how different it is from Agni hymns. We flew up somewhere. Yeah. We are no more on earth somewhere. We are looking at earth from heaven.
Vladimir, I had this question from the earlier class. What is introducing? What is the significance of introducing?
Means to bring in, settle in. Introducing means that opening the door for everyone to come in. It is the night which is introducing everyone into this manifestation. It is the night which is welcoming everyone. Welcome to your new home. Start your journey. Your work, sacrificial work here. Take part of my darkness onto yourself and start working on it as your bodies. Illumine them in your movement forward towards heaven. Manifest the heavenly light here by the darkness. Darkness will help you to manifest it. It's a helper. It sounds all contradictory to the rational mind, but there is a poise in the mind where everything comes together.
Can the 8 peaks mean the highest points of physical organization which can still see or reach up to heaven? Sort of
All
like
possible,
centers.
yes. Possible so much. We do not know what it is. There are many. I'm sure there will be several interpretations from Brahmanas. I can look into what Sayana says. Most probably he will give Disha and Antardisha simplistic. But it could be that some mythological, there's Meru peaks and so on. They will give all this kind of mythological geography to us, which is fine if it helps, yeah, but I do not know whether it helps. Because Prithvi is vastness, literally, so the peaks of the vastness 8, what would that mean? Well, it's so open, I'd have no answer. Yes, well, you are muted, Deepti.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Guruji mentions the octaves in manifestation. So how it forms that circle. I was thinking whether this 8 peaks could talk about that, like the ray coming down and how it traverses that octave, the shape, and how things get repeated.
So like eight-cornered star, you mean like 4 in 4? No, can you say it again? What do you mean by Gurdjieff's?
Gurdjieff's thing is he uses the law of 3 and law of 7. And in law of 7, he mentions the 7 notes. Like any vibration has the do, re, mi, the 7 notes which are coming. But if you really look at the shape that vibration travels, after do, re, there comes a point when it goes down and another force has to come in to kind of keep it. So if you look at it, it kind of creates an octave. There are 8 points at which it keeps moving. So that the vibration, it becomes a manifestation. And otherwise there is no manifestation. It just dissipates. So anything to form, to bring it to form.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not able to.
Very nice. I can get it also from occultism immediately because the 8 is a unique number. It's actually 7. There are only 7 major numbers. And then 8 is coming as a connection to the next cycle, but it has still a form. Whereas 9 has no form anymore. 9 is altogether neither form nor mean, nor relation to the numbers. It's like 0, 0. If 8 is 0 in the content, but still something in the form, then 9 is 0 in form and 0 in content. So in a way, only 7 is really true number. That's totally true. So, and then after that, there has to be 2 more which would connect us to the. I can show you something interesting, what I was thinking about this, since you mentioned this again, Gurdjieff's vision of the notes. I want to show you my thinking on the formation of the Veda. Maybe it will help, maybe not. Maybe it will only confuse you even more. But it is something which I am kind of. I was preparing it to show you. Wait a minute. It was in symbolism. Let me open the symbolism. You remember we studied symbolism? And in that, this is all about studies of symbolism. We did a lot of interesting stuff there. And one of those things was the formation of the. This is also beautiful. It's a symbol of avatars. One of those things. Oh, no, it's not here. So sorry. Let me stop. It's not here. It is elsewhere. But the idea of 8 and 9, if we understand 8 and 9, we will understand many interesting things. And let me try to find it. And if I find it, I will show you. There is some. Okay, you can talk in the meanwhile something, and I will look for it because it's important, 8 and 9 in this regard, but maybe not, since I cannot find it. All right.
I think we are too zapped to talk. My brain feels it is stretched.
The 3 deserts are possibly the 3 absolute nullifications of reality, which are necessary in the manifestation.
Huh? Say it again, please.
The three deserts,
Yes.
are probably the absolute abysses or nullifications of manifestation. Just a thought, without which it would be difficult to pin down reality.
What are the three?
I don't know.
Can you share?
I don't know. I can tell you what are the three. There is 8,
Please.
9, and 0.
Those are the three?
Yeah, we have to see them. Yeah, we have to see in the numbers. If we are going to symbolism of the numbers, 8 is a 0, but a form, it's an infinity. Infinity, it is 0 because it is covering all possible manifested forms within the given. Yeah, but yeah, I found it. Let me project. So you see, you generated some kind of. Here it is. Most probably you remember this. I was showing it once. This is the most interesting revelation on my side. So we have Satchitananda, Vijnana, Manas, Prana, 7 levels of consciousness. And we have 1, 2, 3 first family. Then we have 4 supermind. Then we have 5 mind, 6 prana, and 7 first material manifestation. And then something happens. Then it has to come back to 10, which is again the Vijnana, the supermind, the one of the next cycle of the creation. So these 8 and 9 are actually, if this is involution from 4 to 7, then this is devolution. Sri Aurobindo mentions this once. Involution, devolution, involution, evolution. These 3. Involution, devolution, involution, evolution. Evolution is impossible from the first involution. It needs to have second involution, the second creation. This is the second creation. Yeah? This is the jump of us into the darkness of the first creation. And when we jumped into the darkness, notice he is 13, the first death. Death in the material form. This is matter. So, and from here, from this first death, evolution starts again towards the supermind. And then there will be one more descent from the supermind, supramental manifestation, which will generate 19. Those of you who know the Kabbalistic tradition, this is pure Kabbalistic view, superimposed on the Vedic tradition. These two traditions put together into one scheme. So this is the breaking of the ceiling in the physical form, and this head receiving the light. 21 is the joker, the radiation manifestation in the mind, and 22 is finally the mysterium, the Divine Mother, the naked lady dancing in the full sunlight. With the right hand she touches the sky, with the left foot she touches the earth. So this is the vision of how to arrive at this. There were 3 creations. First creation was involution, or fall of the first 4 emanations. The second creation was the plunge of the newly found emanations by the mother to precipitate the fallen emanations. This was the plunge. And the first death. Death is only when something is there within which can die. Otherwise there is no death, only falling. And finally this which can die now evolves to the supermind, and the support of the supermind from above to the matter is generating a new everlasting evolution of 19, 20, 21, 22, and these are 4 numbers which are considered to go beyond this cycle. The cycle is from 1 to 18 is a full cycle, but 19, 20, 21, 22 is going beyond. It is that extra, a little extra. Notice we have 3.5. What does it tell you, 3.5? No, nothing. Kundalini Shakti, 3.5 circle. I never could understand why 3.5 until I kind of saw this. There is this half. Either this is the half, and these are the full 3 cycles, or this is the half, the transcendental half. Yeah? And these are the 3 cycles. So here we have this mysterium of 8 and 9, devolution type, coming back to its own, because it fell, but it needs to connect. Falling, but it needs to have a bridge with that which is the origin of its fall. So it is there behind, holding it as one world, that devolution. These are thoughts difficult to express, really, but why not? Since we are talking about it, it may generate some thinking in your mind.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that because I'm always looking for that connecting bridge between the yoga and Christianity, and maybe the Kabbalistic thinking is there. But all these number things are really prevalent in the Bible as well. 3.5 just jumped right out at me because there's a lot about 3.5. And I'll have to look into it more, but thank you, because it just provided a really fertile ground for me to think about this connection between the two. But when we first were reading and I heard the 8 peaks, the first thing that came to my mind was something you said in a talk about Veda, about the 7 sons of Aditi and then the 8th. And I don't know if that has any relevance. That's the only 8 I can think of. Everything else is always 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, let us think about those 8. They are also 8, yeah. The 8th sun is the sun which is in the darkness, manifesting the divine. Great. Okay, we can stop here for today and continue the 2 more verses, and then we make an overview. If you have some other ideas or something, you can always share in our WhatsApp. I will close with the mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.